I heard that Olivia Harrison was interested in approaching us to talk about a possibility of a film of some kind on George Harrison. I think she understood that if we were to do it, we were to have kind of freedom in doing what we needed to do. One has to deal with a formative period in the Beatles, but this film is not about that. It's about George Harrison. You can't be more in a material world than a rock star. You have everything, and as Ringo says in the picture, you know, you get it faster, you get it sooner, you get it bigger, you get it, but then there's a price to pay. He paid it a certain way, and he was looking for an out, for peace of mind. And I was interested in that. And it has to do with a spirituality, but intellectual spirituality, not supernatural spirituality. A search for meaning, a search for the part of being human that seems to yearn for something that is more than the physical world. He ultimately may have found a way to live with himself to a certain extent and deal with the end of his life. That's inspiring. With Olivia, what she was able to do was to open these archives, and it was remarkable. She would give us pictures, home movies, so much that we had. I was in Boston, I think, shooting Shutter Island, and they actually flew a garden with diaries, I think, of George from London and brought it to the hotel, and he stood there while I perused them. And he got back on the plane and took them back by hand. The film was being written, in a sense, as we were editing. And so it had its own energy and its own direction, and it was taking us in certain places. I knew how it would begin, and I knew what we had to do dealing with the Beatles period, and I knew where I wanted to end. That's for sure. And so in between all of that, it was a long road. And we'd digress, we'd come back, we'd try other things. And so it was a really great process. We never felt that there was an agenda of any kind, except to be as honest as possible to who he appears to have been. The George Harrison post-Beatles could not obviously have been George Harrison without having gone through the Beatles, without having gone through all these experiences, good, bad, or indifferent. In a way, it's interesting because you look at all the other films that have been made about this subject matter and you say, okay, what hasn't been done? What can I do that is of interest? So you try.